And welcome into Believe Me right here on Stadium. I am Cam Rodgers. And listen, I have no idea what I'm betting on here this weekend, but I am so lucky to have these two legends, Brandon Lang, BrandonLang.com, legendary handicapper, Clay Harbor, former NFL tight end and sports analyst, joining the show. Hey, fellas.
How you doing, Cam?
I'm doing fantastic. Lang, how are you doing?
Hi, Cam. How you doing, buddy? How's everything? Good to see you. Hope life in the big city is going well for you. And let's dive into the madness of March. That's what it's all about.
It is a major month, gentlemen. Here
I'm sorry.
On the
I'm
show.
sorry. Cam, how'd you do last week? Just checking real quick, bro.
0-3. I went 0-3 if we are
Cam,
keeping score.
How'd you do?
I went 1-2. You know, Lang, you're up 2-1 right now. There's only one game difference there, though. So
you two knuckleheads agreed against me, and how'd that work out for you?
You know, it didn't go so well. Didn't go so well.
Is there a movie poster behind me that maybe can help you guys lean towards what I'm? You know, you guys went into the strip bar, and you went right to the champagne room. Rookie move. Go to the bar first, see who's working, then make your selection. I'm trying to help you guys out here. So let's see if we can do a better job of that.
It was a lucky day, Lang. We'll see what happens, my man.
Lang, you're supposed to help me, okay? I'm -3 units after this week. So
I tried. You didn't listen.
Okay, let's get into it, guys. We have a lot to talk about. NFL free agency, trade rumors, March Madness is going on right now. Let's get to the NFL. Clay, your wheelhouse, my friend, and obviously the big story of the week, Aaron Rodgers, New York Jets. Naturally, you're going to see some line movement in the futures market for the next Super Bowl here. We've got the Jets now 10-1 over at BetOnline. In fact, the Cincinnati Bengals have longer odds right now than the New York Jets. And oh, by the way, there's no ink on the paper yet about Aaron Rodgers being on these New York Jets, but it's probably going to happen. Clay, 10-1. Can you go there, or would you rather go in another direction as far as Super Bowl futures? Because this is asking a lot, in my opinion, when we're talking about the New York Jets. It's been so long since they've last even made the playoffs.
This is a little bit ridiculous, in my opinion, Cam. I mean, to have the same odds as the Eagles and the Bengals, I think that's crazy to give the Jets those odds, a team that couldn't make the playoffs last year. Aaron Rodgers, great quarterback. Aaron Rodgers didn't make the playoffs with the Green Bay Packers last year either. I realize he's going to a little bit better of a team. He won't have to do as much, but are they forgetting who's in that division? We have the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. Okay, this guy is not going to get beat by the Jets. This guy is a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. Obviously, he lost last year in the second round of the playoffs, but this is a guy that has potential to go to the Super Bowl every year. Then you got the Dolphins. If Tua stays healthy, I think the Dolphins are a playoff-worthy team. They can go deep into the playoffs. And don't forget about the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick is still their coach. So in my opinion, I don't think there's value. If you want value, I go with Green Bay plus 5,000, because we don't know what Jordan Love is. But when he came in and played, he looked good. I think he will be the Aaron Rodgers to Aaron Rodgers when Aaron Rodgers was to Brett Favre. I think Jordan Love will come in and be a good quarterback. New England Patriots at 6,000. Arizona Cardinals, one of the worst teams in the league, one of the best odds in the league at plus 15,000. Okay, they still got Kyler Murray. He comes back healthy. I like their odds of maybe sneaking in there if you want a long shot.
Brandon, when you see this sort of line movement, even before something has happened, right? You obviously see the public acting on things. What do you think as a professional handicapper? Is there any value right now 10-1 with the Jets?
Let me tell you a story. A couple summers ago, I was in the Hamptons in New York, and I'm at the kid's house that his dad owns, Alibaba. House is worth about $29 million. Just to put it in perspective, it's 7 washers and 7 dryers in the laundry room. And all these kids, I'm there because John Meehan, good buddy of mine, his son, John Jr., this is his core group of friends, and one of the kids is Alibaba. And so I run over there, and they know who Brandon Lang is. They know the movie, and Tom Brady just signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I looked at all these kids. They all gamble. I looked at all these kids in the kitchen, and I said, Get on your phones right now. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to win the Super Bowl. Bet them right now.
Wow.
I just got back from the wedding. John Jr. got married. And every one of these kids who I haven't seen since that party came up and said, B-Lang, you the man, baby. Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl, man. We unloaded, baby. B-Lang, you the man. And sometimes in life, if you want to be the man, you got to make the outlandish statement. If it hits, you're the man.
Yep.
If it doesn't, who cares? It's just another bad prediction.
There's plenty of those.
The New York Jets are going to win the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. This is exactly the Tampa Bay scenario all over again. Look at it.
Besides the fact that Tom Brady had 6 rings and Aaron Rodgers has 1.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The scenario I'm talking about is Tom Brady sat back and said, all I need are some offensive weapons and a defense. He selected Tampa Bay. That defense showed. That defense played great all year. Brady didn't do anything fantastic. He kind of managed the game much the way Peyton Manning did at Denver with that great defense. Yep. Tom Brady did not play well in that Super Bowl. Let's make sure we're clear on that. He didn't play well at all, but they won the Super Bowl because their defense got after Kansas City. You can say what you want about Aaron Rodgers. Say what you want, okay?
1 Super Bowl. It's good in theory, I mean, but you look at the difference in the divisions as well.
Listen.
But there's no Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen
first
in
of all,
the NFC South.
As long as Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy stay together in Buffalo, they are going nowhere. As long as Leslie Frazier and Sean McDermott are together, they will go nowhere. We will give up a touchdown with 1 second on the clock and allow them to go 40 yards because we're stupid and we're ignorant and we're dumb. That's that. Buffalo will never go anywhere as long as they're the coaches. That's another outlandish statement. Trust me. Now, New York Jets to win the Super Bowl. When we talk about this a year from now, thanks for coming out.
Keep track of this one.
Next.
Save the timestamp. Honestly, I can't fade Lang right after the first segment here, so I'm going to ride with that one. I mean, why not? He called it with the Bucks, so let's ride with the Jets. Let's go. All right, next up here, guys, DeAndre Hopkins. Some buzz out there about maybe he will be on the move via a trade. Des Bryant reportedly is trying to recruit him to Dallas. By the way, 2 years remaining on his contract, so you got to work through that whole situation too. The Packers, though, oddly enough, are the favorites at plus 325 to acquire DeAndre Hopkins, followed by the Chiefs and then the Patriots. Brandon, what's the move here? By the way, these odds are only if Hopkins is moved, right? So you can't bet on the Cardinals here. But Brandon, what is the deal with DeAndre, do you think?
Well, kudos for him wanting to get as far away from anything to do with Arizona on the history of planet Earth, because the coach that they hired as their head coach is the second coming of Nathaniel Hackett at Denver. Mm-hmm. This guy's as clueless as any human being on the face of the planet Earth. Philadelphia fans called him out 2 years ago as, listen, someone should call 911 because he just stole money from Arizona. And whatever management at Arizona was smoking, eating, edible-wise to hire this guy, they've imploded again of epic proportions. So good for DeAndre. He's not going to Green Bay. I just do not see it unless they offer him a boatload of money. You're not going to go up there and freeze your butt off after being in nice, comfy, cold, nice, warm Arizona. So for me, it's KC. To take a pay cut to go to KC. You will go play with Patrick Mahomes. I would bet he ends up in KC. They figure out a way because he has a chance to win right away, and it makes sense. I'll take a little pay cut to go pay with Patrick Mahomes. And listen, you can incentive lace his contract and he can make a little bit more money that way. But if you're talking about Trey Lance, or wait, is it Trey Lance at the backup for Green Bay? Who's the backup at Green Bay?
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love. Kid from Alabama at New England.
Mac Jones.
It's there too.
No, the quarterback of New England.
Mac Jones.
Oh, Mac Jones.
Yeah, Mac Jones. So Mac Jones, Kid of Green Bay, or Patrick Mahomes. Is money really worth that much, or do you want to win? I'm going with KC.
Yeah, I think he wants to win. Clay?
Yeah, I think Jonathan Gannon's a decent coach. I don't know if he's qualified, but I mean, obviously in the Super Bowl he didn't play very well against the Chiefs. But overall, I mean, they had a top 3 defense last year. They had a top 10 defense the year before that. Jonathan Gannon, I think he has an opportunity to be a decent coach in Kansas City. But to get to the question of DeAndre Hopkins, I think you're right, Lang. I think the Chiefs would be a good fit, especially after losing Mecole Hardman and Juju Smith-Schuster. Also, I think the Cowboys, they love making big splashes with big-time receivers. CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup are 2 guys I could see him joining. And then, a long shot would be, the Raiders, Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow. You got Jimmy Garoppolo out there reuniting with Josh McDaniels. I think they love big-time receivers, a big receiver for Jimmy G. I think that'd be a good spot, too. And there you get the best odds at plus 1,600. So I think that'd be great. But the Chiefs at plus 450 to me would be the most likely outcome.
Yeah, I'm with you guys on that one. I like the Chiefs, obviously. I think they could use an upgrade there at the wide receiver position and really put the Chiefs into that cemented dynasty mode. If they're not there already, we'll see what happens next year. Yeah. But I will ride with the Chiefs on that one as well. One more for you as far as free agency is concerned. Dalvin Cook. The Vikings just signed Alexander Mattison to an extension. Cook, by the way, is under contract through 2025. But there's this trade buzz with him as well. And we have the Dolphins as the favorite at 3-1, followed by the Bills and the Broncos. The Bills have been in the mix for plenty of running backs so far this offseason, Derrick Henry included. Brandon, to you, Clay, to you, Dalvin Cook. What's the logic here? Where do you think he goes?
The Bears. Okay, the Bears just lost David Montgomery, their big-time running back, right? They were going to get Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders did not go to Chicago. He's already signed. Okay, so for me, they've got Khalil Herbert and they've got Travis Homer on the roster, a free agent they just signed. There's nobody else. Darrynton Evans, Tristan Ebner's on the roster. Darrynton Evans, restricted free agent, just walked. So for me, they need another running back. I think Dalvin Cook would take a piece away from a division rival in Minnesota, bring him to Chicago, and give Justin Fields a weapon. You already got Claypool. You got DJ Moore. You got Mooney. You got Cole Kmet. Now you need another running back weapon. Bring him to Chicago, plus 500 odds. And then the other one I could see him going to, the other team, be the Saints for the long shot at plus 1,400. Okay, they got Alvin Kamara, yes, but after that, you got nothing. Dwayne Washington's a solid back. He was hurt all year last year. They only have 3 running backs on the entire roster in New Orleans. Get this guy a chance. Derek Carr, give him a big-time running back that can take a little bit of pressure off of him. You got good receivers. You're bringing Michael Thomas back, okay? You got Chris Olave. This guy showed he can play. Now bring in the running game. I think 1,400 long shot for New Orleans, plus 500 for the Bears. Got a lot of money to spend. Take it away from your division rival. You lost Montgomery. Bring in Cook.
Whole lot of draft capital for the Bears as well, Brandon. So do you like what Clay is saying, or are you going in another direction here?
Well, let's also talk about last week. I said on this show that the Bears were going to trade the number 1 pick away. So I'm 3-1 on the show last week. We're going to they're going to trade that number 1 pick away. I love the Bears in this spot. I think Clay hits it right on the head to let Montgomery go. Who do they have? They have room under the salary cap. They have money. Just makes sense. Dalvin Cook with Justin Fields. First of all, I'm excited to see what the Bears do in this draft now with what they've uploaded and what they have. I mean, so great to trade the number 1 pick. And I think that's exactly what they had to do. So I think Clay's right on the money there with the Bears being the number 1 choice.
Yep, I think the Bears are the move on that one. But I do like the sentiment with the Saints there, Clay. A lot of logic with that one. All right.
Yeah.
We got to talk March Madness, fellas. And we have the opportunity to bet on the region winners, right? East, Midwest, South, West. Who's going to the Final Four, essentially? We will go region by region. And we start with Mr. March himself, Brandon Lang. We start in the East, which is an absolute mess, Brandon. So I really want to hear your thoughts on this one because you've got Purdue as the favorites, plus 290. Marquette at plus 400. But Purdue is fraudulent, in my opinion. Marquette struggles on defense. I mean, by default, is it Duke? I have no idea. Brandon, your initial thoughts, my friend.
If everything holds true, and again, we're taping on Thursday as the games are going on, so we don't know any results. I have Purdue, and I'm going to make this statement. I don't see Florida Atlantic beating Memphis, and I see Memphis knocking off Purdue in the round 2. Purdue being the first number one seed to go bye-bye. As that bracket unfolds, big fan of Marquette and Shaka Smart. I think Marquette can go, and if you have not seen them play this year, they won the Big East tournament. They can go, and I like Marquette coming out of the East to get it done. Wow. I think Memphis beats Duke, but even if Duke gets by Memphis, I just think Marquette's got too many athletes for that young Duke team, and Shaka's done a great job in his first year at Marquette. So I have Marquette out of the East.
Marquette second on the list, Clay. What do you think?
I think this is where I pick up some points on Brandon Lang over here because, I think I'm going with the Dukies. The Dukies won they won the ACC tournament. They've won their last 9. Okay, I know they're a 4 seed, but I don't care. John Shire, they got the most NBA talent on their team. They've been playing well. They won their last 9 games in the ACC tournament. I agree with you. Purdue is fraudulent. I love Edney. Okay, 7-4, like he can play, but to me, they're fraudulent. I think the whole Big Ten is fraudulent this year. Yep. Marquette, Big East champs, 9-game winning streak as well. I like Marquette, but for me, I got the Dukies. I think you're getting good odds there at plus 450. Purdue is plus 290. Michigan State is a team that's plus 1,400. I think they have a good chance of getting upset in the first round by USC, who's won 5 of their last 6, and Michigan State's a team that's lost 3 of their last 6. But if you want a long shot, that would be my long shot. But I'm taking Duke plus 450 to win the East.
I am riding with the Dukies. Sorry, B-Lang,
Let's go.
on this one.
Let's go. We're picking this one up, Cam. We're picking this one up.
Defensive efficiency. They are going to beat Purdue, and I'm going to cash, man.
Let's go. Let's go.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye with those 4 freshmen. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Big slow Duke. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Next.
ACC tournament, 9 in a row.
Oh, my God. ACC's so down this year. Watch Furman beat Virginia. Okay, let's go.
To the Midwest we go. And Clay, we'll start with you on this one. Houston, obviously, the chalk, plus 145. They are the favorites, I believe, in the outright market to win it all right now. It could be Alabama because they are the number 1 overall seed. You got Texas there at 3-1. Interestingly, Texas A&M, 9-1, third on this list. So Vegas basically saying it's going to be Houston or Texas. Clay, what say you?
Houston at plus 145 is the obvious choice. I'm picking Houston. Houston is my eventual champion. I think Houston wins this, but let's look. If you want a long shot, plus 3,300. Penn State has won 8 of their last 10. I think they're a team that could maybe pull off a crazy upset if you're trying to just really cash out. But I think Houston's a team. They play fast. They're a fun team to watch. Iowa is another team maybe for a long shot. I think maybe they get upset by, they're playing Auburn in Alabama. I think they got kind of hosed right there. So, that's tough. It's basically an away game for them, a home game for Auburn. But Houston, easy.
Lang, you were riding the chalk last week with Houston to win it all. So I think probably you're going to agree with Clay here that they are going to win this region.
In the words of the stumbling, bumbling Lee Corso, not so fast, my friends. Yes, I agree with Clay from the standpoint of if Sasser's healthy. Remember, hurt his groin in the semi. They went into the tournament conference championship game without him.
They lost to Memphis. Yeah, lost to Memphis.
Memphis got up 18 at the half. Give Houston credit. Battled back, got up within 5 in the second half, but just didn't have enough. 17 points a game out the door with Sasser. If Sasser's healthy, Houston goes to the Final Four. Bar none. Clay's right on the money. If Sasser's not healthy, they're going to run into some problems. Now, my dark horse, years ago, might have been 3-4 years ago, I went on the Pat McAfee show, and I told Pat McAfee, Loyola Chicago is going to the Final Four. He went absolutely like, there's just no way. I said, I went to Florida and watched this team beat Florida in November. I remember driving back to Jacksonville going, this team can go. They got the freshman center. They got good senior guards. I said, this team's going to be a problem. They got to the Final Four. Pat, when I see him at Radio Row, still says, bro, Loyola Chicago, you the man. Drake has 4 fifth-year seniors on their roster with an NBA prospect. I'm telling you, Drake is my sleeper to be this year's Loyola of Chicago. 18 of the past 20 NCAA tournaments, a double-digit seed has made it to the Sweet 16. Drake is a number 12 seed. They are my sleeper to be that double-digit seed that gets to the Sweet 16. My other one's Kent State, who I think takes out Indiana and makes their way to the Sweet 16. Kent State can flat out go. But it's Houston, Texas, or Texas A&M. If Houston's not healthy, the winner of Texas, Texas A&M goes to the Final Four. I have A&M as my sleeper. Buzz Williams, love him. Love the fact they're in the tournament this year. But the tournament committee, who he slammed last year, did him no favors with where they slotted him, Penn State and Texas, to get into the Sweet 16. So my sleeper's A&M, but with Clay, if Sasser's healthy, it's Houston or nobody else.
Yeah, I'm with you guys on that one. I may pass on this bet only because I don't know about Sasser's health, so we'll see what happens as we go forward here. Just a couple of minutes left here, guys, so let's go rapid fire. We'll start with the South here. Alabama, top overall seed, plus 125. Then you have a large gap. Arizona, 4-1. Brandon, any value outside of Alabama here?
No, Alabama or bust. Brandon Miller reminds me of the Syracuse Carmelo Anthony run with that freshman. Alabama is head above heels of anybody in this region. Alabama, easy money.
Brandon Miller won the SEC tournament. I love Alabama. Arizona, they won the Pac-12 tournament. They're another team that can play. I'm with Brandon there.
Yeah, let's ride with Alabama. Let's not overthink that region. Let's go to the last one, the West region. Vegas basically saying here, guys, have at it. UCLA 3-1, Kansas plus 320, Gonzaga plus 325, UConn, who I love, plus 425. Clay, what's the deal? What do we do?
I like UCLA, but Jalen Clark is injured. I like Kansas. Bill Self isn't coaching. The reigning champs plus 320. UConn plus 420. Illinois, I'm a big Illinois guy, but obviously they got a tough one against Arkansas with the most NBA prospects in this tournament. But I'm still going with Kansas at plus 320.
Brandon?
Kansas gets knocked off by Arkansas if they meet in the round of 32. So Clay,
I think that's tough. I think that's a tough one. They got a lot of prospects. Yeah,
McCullough's hurt, and
McCullough's hurt.
Huge. Saw the Big 12 tournament. UConn, I'm all in on UConn. If UCLA's, and Clay brought it up again, that injury for UCLA is huge. Nick Cronin said he feels like he can play. If he plays, UCLA is going to the Final Four. If he's banged up, I'm all over UConn. I just like the makeup of their bigs playing together, the 3-point shooting. So my sleepers UConn out of the West.
It only makes sense we end this show with me agreeing with Brandon Lang. UConn is going to win the national championship, so they will certainly win this region. I'm riding with the Huskies on that one. Let's get this money, everybody. Hope you have a great weekend. Good luck to your bets. For the legendary handicapper, Brandon Lang. For the former NFL tight end, Clay Harbor, I'm Cam Rogers. This has been Believe Me. We'll see you next week.
I also like Gonzaga there for